How do I choose a yoga mat? I'm new to yoga and I really enjoy it. It's time to get my new yoga mat. But there are so many options and prices and materials, I don't even know where to get started. In this video, I'm going to help you with some tips to buy your first yoga mat. Stick with me. My name is Christina. I'm a yoga teacher and I'll give you some great tips today to hopefully help you to get your first yoga mat. So the first tip I have for you is buy specifically a yoga mat, not a Pilates mat. You know, oh, but I have a Pilates mat at home. No, they're different. Usually Pilates mats are shorter in length and they're usually much thicker. So the thickness, that extra cushioning might be very good for your dodgy knees, but they're not going to help you in standing poses in yoga and also in balancing poses like tree pose. So yeah, stick to a yoga mat. It's much larger and it's usually a bit thinner. It's just made for yoga. Second tip, think about your budget. How much do you want to spend on that? As a beginner, starting your yoga journey, first yoga mat, woohoo, you might not want to go crazy and buy an 80-pound or 100-pound mat. If this is new to you, you're not too sure if you're gonna stick with yoga. Well, if you are, then great. There are amazing mats like that, like this one, by the way, from lululemon, which I'm gonna make comments about, by the way. But, there are 20, 25-pound mats, which are very reasonable. My first mat was a super cheap one. I don't even remember why I bought it. Maybe I was hoping to do some exercises at home. But that was about 10 or 15 pounds. I think it was 10 pounds at Sports Direct. Honestly, nowadays, obviously it's quite old. It's kind of falling apart. It's really not durable. It is so simple, so thin, and you just feel it. It's just not a good quality material. It's good to invest, but maybe not go crazy in your first yoga mat. It's also important to think about what's good for you, what you value in a mat, and that's what I'm going to talk to you next. And like most things in life, you cannot have everything, right? So some materials like rubber, like this one I've got from Lululemon, rubber is very good for grip. For example, there's no way I'm gonna slide on the mat when I'm doing downward facing dog. You want to feel secure in the mat. So a rubber mat will be very helpful for practices when you sweat a lot, when you're in a hot country, hot summer, things like that, because the rubber will then absorb all of the sweat and then your hands and feet will be just stuck there. It will be amazing. You will feel secure. Obviously, there are downsides to it. Hygiene, for example, is harder to clean. It gets a little bit dirtier. It's hard to, this is not great cleaning, But at the same time, is a choice. This one for me is good for hot summer. So I don't mind about that. However, most of the year here in the UK, I prefer to use another mat of mine, which is made of other materials. I really like the Manduka, which is a very good brand, but many out there with other materials that will include plastic, which is not great for some people very cautious about environment. This rubber mat that I've got is quite thick as well. So the thickness will help you with giving you good cushioning for your knees, for example, when you are here on tabletop, right? So when it's too thin, it might be too hard on your knees, especially if they're injured or they hurt. So you might want a thicker mat for that purpose. But regardless of the material, you should be able to get thicker mats to help your cushioning. On the other side, the thicker you go, the harder it will be to perform standing poses or balancing poses. So when it's too thick, you might be a bit wobbly. You might just want to maybe step out of your mat and maybe be on a hard floor, for example, if your mat is a bit too thick. So it's really thinking about what is more important for you. If your knees are really tricky and cushioning is important for you, maybe try a thicker mat. So this Lululemon that I've got, for example, is I think it's 4 millimeters. And I'll be honest with you, I actually would have preferred a slightly thinner one. My left knee is a little bit dodgy sometimes, but I don't require that much cushioning, and I don't mind to put a towel underneath whenever I need it, or you know, when I spend too much time on my knees on this mat. But like I said, so I actually think I would prefer a thinner mat. It would end up being a little bit lighter to carry, more practical. A lot of mats out there are made of materials which contain, you know, synthetics, plastics and things like that, which I understand a lot of people won't like it for the environmental aspect. However, these mats, they tend to be quite durable. So I'll give you a good example, and maybe I'll do a review of those mats that I have another time in another video. But one that I have is Manduka Light. And it's so easy to clean. It's such great quality. And you just can see the mat will last for a long, long time. I love to use that mat. So the downside compared to my rubber one is that when it arrived first time, it's required some time to become a bit grippier. You know, the more you use, and I guess the more you sweat on that mat, then it becomes grippier with time. So if you buy one of those, you know, maybe a good quality mat, like a Manduka one or another one similar, don't feel disheartened. Is very common, you know, in the yoga world to have yoga mats that require you to use it for a few weeks quite often to be able to then, you know, it will wear out and will get better with time. So don't feel disheartened, it will get better. Some of the mats, even you have to put salt on top. Just follow the instructions, but some of them, they say to you, put salt on top, and then you can spend a whole day or 24 hours with the salt on top. So then you wash it the next day and it should get better. So I've done that. Yes, if I was starting today, what would I buy? I won't give you any specific mats, right? Because I gave you some tips here already. And I think it's kind of like trying to find a balance. For beginners, I would suggest don't go crazy in investing a lot of money, but don't go for very cheap, like less than 20 pounds. In the UK right now, in this year, when you're, you know, see when I posted this video, I would say anywhere between maybe 25 pounds and maybe 60 pounds, something like, it sounds reasonable to me. And then have a look at the reviews. I will prepare some videos, some reviews for you about mats that I have. I have quite a few different ones from different budgets. I will try to compare like for like, so these expensive ones, these cheaper ones, and then hopefully that can help you even more. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this gave you some insights, some tips to help you with your decision. I'll put links down below in the description with some of the places that you can find mats that I have bought from or that I heard good things about. If I can, I'll put some mats as well. So good luck with your yoga journey. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and remember to like and subscribe.